The lights are back on in Washington, but behind the smiles, millions of Americans are still paying the price. So the US government shutdown lasted 43 days, the longest in history. 43 days of unpaid workers, grounded flights, frozen aid, and families holding their breath. And now that it's over, the damage still runs far deeper than anyone expected. So tonight, we look at what got fixed, what didn't, and how is this shutdown coming back to haunt the entire country, including you. On November 12, 2025, Congress passed a funding bill. The president signed it, and the government reopened, at least officially. But reopening doesn't magically erase 43 days of chaos. Federal workers missed paychecks, airports collapsed under pressure, food banks were overwhelmed, small businesses bled cash, families experienced fear they won't forget anytime soon. So in this video, let's break down what happened during the shutdown, the visible damage, the hidden costs, what's still broken, and why all this matters to you. So let's rewind. 43 days ago, October 1st, Congress missed the budget deadline. Funding expired, and just like that, the government shut down. More than 900,000 federal workers caught in the crossfire. Park rangers, IRS agents, TSA officers, people who keep the country running. Workers went without pay day after day with no idea when this was going to end. So national parks shut their gates, IRS offices went dark, flights were cancelled, and millions felt the consequences within a few days. So after 43 brutal days of gridlock, Congress finally blinked. They passed a funding bill. The president signed it and the doors reopened. But you can't flip a switch and erase 6 weeks of dysfunction. Some agencies restarted, some workers received back their pay, but the damage still runs deeper. So let's start with what everyone could see. Federal workers went weeks with no paychecks. Bills piled, stress. Many of these families were stressed and pushed to the end. So airports were full of chaos. Flights cancelled, lines upon lines in the airports, TSA officers overwhelmed and exhausted. Food aid programs like SNAP were delayed. Millions were waiting desperately for support. Local businesses dependent on federal contracts watched revenue vanish overnight. Even Wall Street felt the pressure. Government data reports stopped, markets stumbled, investors were flying blind. So for countless families, this was not just politics, it was survival. But not all the damage makes them. Mental health took a major hit. Parents skipped meals to feed their kids. Couples argued about money. Children watched fear settle into their homes. Federal contractors, the people who quietly keep government operations alive, received no pay at all. Many won't recover what they lost. Small town businesses suffered at the edge of bankruptcy, and trust in government collapsed. So rebuilding that trust won't take days. It could take years. So rebuilding that trust will not take days. It could take years. So what's still broken? The shutdown is over, but the fallout is still spreading. Healthcare programs like the ACA subsidies and federal grants remain delayed. Millions are facing coverage gaps. Agency backlogs are exploding. Social security claims, visa applications, IRS refunds. Some cases may be delayed deep into 2025. Air travel is still a mess. Fewer flights, longer lines, and with the holidays coming, more chaos is almost guaranteed. And here's the biggest threat. The next deadline is January 30th, 2026. So if Congress doesn't act, the government could shut down again. This reopening wasn't a solution. It was a band-aid on a bullet wound, and the system is still bleeding. So you may be thinking, why does all this matter to you? Why does it all matter to me? So if you work in air travel, healthcare, logistics, or any federal contractor role, your income depends on government stability. Your local economy, your small business, your community, they all feel the shockwaves when the federal money freezes. So your future, elections, Policies and national priorities will be shaped by the anger and economic pain this shutdown has created. And your daily life will be affected as well. Food stamps, tax refunds, benefits, travel safety are all directly affected when the government stops functioning. So this shutdown wasn't just another headline. It was a warning. Politics has a price, and regular people always pay it first. Yes, the government is open again, but open doesn't mean healed. Open doesn't mean repaired. Open doesn't mean recovered. The damage is already done, and the bill for this shutdown hasn't even fully arrived. Washington needs to fix its priorities fast, or we end up right back here again. What do you think? Did leaders learn anything from this shutdown, or is another one inevitable? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll feature the best ones in the next video. See you on the next one.